whether there's going to be an emphasis. I mean, you know, we all know they can do better on certain elevators. And I would hope that they would in this, you know, such a dramatic upheaval. Because if you know, then in addition to the general L upheaval, if you have elevator issues, it gets much more problematic.
Do you have specific locations that you'd like us to? We're also going to ask for volunteers.
There's that too. I can add. I can add
if you have specific locations.
Yeah, Myrtle Wyckoff particularly. Yeah.
And Union Square as well, and 8th Avenue.
Well, Union Square is not accessible, pretty much. Oh, the Ellis. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the interchange between different elevators, between different subway lines is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, but
it tells you to take the NRW to 34th Street to go for an accessible trip. So I would think that from Union Square.
Well, that would be the NQRW.
NQ from NQRW.
Yeah, but the W doesn't run on weekends.
Whatever. But to 34th Street.
Anyone who is
but to make sure that that elevator at 34th Street, that's supposed to be or any of the elevators.
A little more rapid response.
Yeah. Right, well, even this morning I was at 8th Avenue and that elevator's not working.
I know.
Yeah. So.
I know.
There's the obvious issue of elevators. There's the issue of the electronic signs on the newer subway cars, and if they're taking all of this new service and service recommendations for alternate lines into account, I'm wondering if the Bloomberg company is going to redo all of the electronic messages and signs on the cars that they initially did, and how long that's going to take. There's obviously going to be certain pinch points in stairways.
Can I ask you about the electronic signs?
Lorimer Metropolitan is an obvious one. Court Square is an obvious one. Union Square is an obvious one. 6th and 8th Avenues and 14th Street are obvious. Broadway Junction, Livonia Junius, all of these have to be looked at.
Other station, what are they called on the platform? They're generally worthless, but there are...
On the go?
On the go?
No, the guys in the vests.
The ambassadors.
Well, the platform controllers.
Okay, I mean, you know, will there be platform employees deployed at the station?
I can't imagine there won't.
Yeah.
Especially in the early.
I think the question is, are they going to have the correct
because
information? Like this
that
morning,
was going to be my next question.
This morning I talked to a platform conductor and he had no idea that 14th Street was going to be shut down to motor vehicles. And he's passing on information to people.
I was put on a 5 train instead of a 4 train. I was directed to a 5 instead of a 4 at 125th where the elevator was out. Which meant, and I was trying to get back to Washington Heights.
Oh.
And I'm like, where the hell am I? Yeah, and this was a platform person.
Did you take the 5?
Yes.
Where did you end up that you realized you were wrong?
Oh, I knew I was wrong, but I couldn't figure out where to get off.
You didn't get as far as 180th Street.
Don't say it.
Either there's going to definitely be an enhanced field presence.
Okay, I mean, I ended up getting on the B12 at Pelham.
There you go.
I mean, that's...
BX12, yeah.
Yeah, the BX12.
Yeah.
All the BX12 SBS.
Chris,
Yeah.
speaking of buses, are there bus
That's
routes?
what I wanted to ask.
I need to get better understanding
You're
of buses.
dealing with the surface transportation? Okay, I have been getting calls from people about when the new, well, it's not a plan because there have been different announcements at different times. First, there was going to be no traffic at all, and it was just going to be buses. Then it was going to be trucks, delivery trucks, and
You're talking about 14th Street?
Then there was going to be regular traffic allowed, but only for 1 block and whatever. We heard this morning from Andrew about this. There has to be some, again, back to communication again. Because I don't even know what is happening with those. I mean, I don't live down there, but I spend enough time, and I hear from enough people. So if you can try to find out what is the alternate plan, the surface plan.
Trudy, you and everybody else wants to know, because it's not
Okay,
out
but
there
I'm
yet.
asking,
No, but I'm saying, nobody knows.
Lisa, what I'm saying, you said, Bradley, issues
Right.
that have come up. I
Yes.
am not asking now, I am saying that this is an issue
Yes.
which has come up over, since there was an announcement
It's
made.
absolutely.
And so if Bradley can try to get some clarification on that, it would be really, really
We all will.
useful,
Now,
okay?
any other places that you think we should be concentrating? I'm assuming that most New Yorkers will take up to a week, maybe even 2 weeks to decide what their alternate service route will be. I don't think it will take anything more than that. New Yorkers are pretty shrewd and they'll figure out the best way to go.
Well, in the first couple of weeks, I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups that transit will be adjusting.
Yes.
And I think I've already been going out this week, and the staff, we will continue to go out during the first couple of weeks to kind of develop what the scope is going to be. And then at that point, within that time, we're going to reach out to the council members to do surveys.
Yep.
So that will be, Trudy, you guys hear, the survey work will be coming.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out what that is.
Bradley, you asked me a question just a second ago about bus. What was the question again?
Like, just, because you have a lot of bus knowledge of
Yes, I do.
affected buses, so if, just for time's sake, why don't you email me some bus routes that you think are going to be problematic, and we can pay attention to those.
But the only mention of buses in this overall thing that Deb just handed out is one thing about more 14A bus service. It doesn't deal with other bus, well, it does, I'm sorry, the one, I had to go searching for it. But what I'm saying is, as these are announced to the public, and the public gets more confused, there has to be some kind of a concentration on not just alternate subway service, but alternate surface transportation alternatives that are available on 14th Street, on connecting with other lines and everything else.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
Mr. X?
Okay, my suggestion is Broadway Junction. From Broadway Junction, have the J train provide additional service with the L train to provide the parking, which is the J train being 960. Also, bring it to Coney Island and 95th Street for the Manhattan Stock Exchange. No reason why it has to terminate there.
Terminate where?
For the Manhattan Stock Exchange, which is right here.
Oh, at Broad Street.
Oh, you mean Broad Street, the end of the J?
Right, you can bring it to Brooklyn, you can bring it to 9th Avenue, put it on both levels, it has 2 levels, and one level's been closed since May 1975. You can bring the Coney Island via the West End line, you can bring the 95th via the 4th Avenue line.
You may be very happy to hear that there is an initiative at Transit about untangling some subway lines, and several folks have made a suggestion about extending the J train into Brooklyn.
Okay.
So it is on the radar.
It should be, first of all, service below that point should have been extended to Brooklyn at all times over the years, and it wasn't.
Well, it wasn't, so.
It wasn't, not,
Which I find disturbing.
Yep, you're right.
Okay, but you can't undo the past, right? You just move
Just to
forward.
let you know, what I'm hearing is the Z train might be extended. Because the Z does.
the Z is rush hour only.
Yeah, but it's express, but they might increase it because it's a one.
It's skip stop, I don't know if I'd call it express, but you know.
You know what I mean, but at certain points.
Oh,
it-
the old 1-9 model.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
was such a wonderful success.
Oh, QJ, remember that?
Yeah, but it's been, what I'm hearing is, as you're correct, Andrew, and I did mention this a couple of meeting times, but the ridership has been increasing definitely, even from this stop, Broad Street, going up.
Yeah.
And 4 and 5 lately, it's getting too crowded, the R is getting too crowded, they need additional service help. So I'm glad to see that something is.
Yeah, but we're actually referring to the L train slowdown now, and you, by the way, keep in mind that there's going to be 10-minute headways on the L train east
I
of
would
Lorimer
take
Street.
that. That's a great headway.
That's a great headway, but it's east of east and south of Lorimer Street. Lorimer West, it's going to be that's 20 minutes.
Wherever.
Yeah.
It's a great
So
accomplishment.
the L train in New York is not gonna be affected?
It is. It was
In
not-
Manhattan, it's 20
it is.
minutes, some of the, there's 2
From
L's.
8th Avenue to Lorimer Street, from beginning at 8:30, on every night, there will be a slowdown that will result in a 20-minute headway. until, from Lorimer, and beyond, it will be every 10 minutes.
Yeah, Lorimer to Rockaway Park.
APL in the morning or in the middle of the day, it doesn't matter.
It shouldn't.
It should,
Supposed to be at full power then.
It's after 8 p.m. that these kick in.
It's been mentioned already like 16 times in different locations. During the weekday, it's back to its normal routine, but getting close to 7 or 8 o'clock, they are gonna slow them down as a work train has to go through.
it says that, right, service will continue as normal from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. on weeknights and weekdays, but on weekends, it'll be the same situation as overnights.
One L goes to Bedford, one L goes to 8th Avenue, but it will be like, if you want 8th Avenue, you gotta wait 20 minutes.
Deborah, maybe you know the answer to this. So if they're gonna shut down one tube and utilize service in the other tube so that service continues on that 20-minute headway,
Yes.
does that mean trains at certain stations are gonna come in on the side that you might not have expected it to come in, or
They're
they,
gonna tell you.
I've not heard that.
so they'll use switches to get it to the
Yeah.
proper side?
Yes,
I heard that they were saying that, the announcements will specifically say which direction the train is going in, and there should be signage. I heard that, but
If they're saying what you're saying, that tells me that they might be on an inbound track for the outbound service, if they have to make that kind of announcement,
yeah,
right?
well, there'll be one track, right?
One track, yeah, so inbound and outbound will be on the same.
Altogether, then
Yes, well, there will only be one track
Yeah.
in play,
So that means
So you don't
certain
have to
platforms
choose
will be
your
closed at certain stations. Yeah.
Yeah, First Avenue is gonna be, the concern is gonna be also, First Avenue and Third Avenue, it's gonna be ultra packed. It's right now, the safety, we've been seeing on the emails or even on the news saying people get struck. The struck levels are increasing on the L line.
Well, interestingly, Chris,
Yeah.
First Avenue and Third Avenue have side-by-side platforms, whereas Union Square has an island
Thank
platform,
God.
which makes it a lot easier if it's on the opposite direction. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless there's some, let's pray there's something goes wrong.
175 works very well.
yes.
It's just, which side are we on?
All those island platforms are missing is some island music.
Yeah.
No, we have a lot of music if you come far
I
enough
know,
up
that's true,
town.
that's true.
That's why you can't hear any
That's true
announcement.
too.
Are First Avenue and Third Avenue, are they still considering those to be exit only, or is that
That's
been
not
axed?
clear yet. That's going to be determined, I think, depending on crowd levels.
So they've also, there's also been a commitment to tweak as things go along.
Yeah.
So I think that's particularly where our input is gonna be helpful, as we see things that, I think that transit's gonna have a lot of people out on the ground,
Yes.
yeah, at all times, but it's also, they can't be everywhere at all times. So that's why it would be helpful for us to be able to coordinate with where you
Yeah, so
can't be.
at first and third, it would have to be on the wrong
Have your
platform
phone, text alerts.
if they're running one too.
Right.
Yes, yes, so we just looked at a track map and that's depending on what hour of the day, at First and Third Avenues, you're gonna be on a platform that might not be one you'd expect. Inbound and outbound will have to be at the same platform.
Yeah.
That's hence the 20-minute
So they've
headway.
got plenty of time to tell you where to go.
Yeah, and announcements and of
Well,
course,
am I correct if right outside Union Square, there's another switch there that it can go, then it goes back to normal, or is everything's gonna go straight one track all the way up to 8th Avenue?
no, it doesn't have to.
Oh, yep, is it-
Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, so the First Avenue and Third Avenue for the weekends, 20 minutes, right? So can we use
Nights
the
and weekends.
entry?
If one of the tubes is closed,
So, yeah,
they'll close off the entrance that's not applicable and you'll only be able to enter the side that's working.
And there will be signage to direct you across the street.
Absolutely, there has to
first
be.
and third,
Well,
right?
we asked this out of experience.
Of course, I know. Actually,
There should be a sign.
because I'm
There
as
should be
cynical,
signage.
because I'm as cynical as you are, the really big, massive projects that the MTA does, like this and some of the other ones that are escaping me from, but they've been, yeah, some really big ones, they usually get the signage and the personnel and all of that correct. It's the littler ones that things sometimes slip through the cracks.
Has there been any consideration, as was done with the Second Avenue subway, when people were totally confused, opening an information center somewhere, maybe at 14th Street and First Avenue, somewhere that it can capture people?
I haven't heard that,
Well,
but there's
let
certainly
me
been
offer
any
that
number
as
of open houses about this.
No, not open houses, I'm talking about
Once it's
while
going.
this is going on.
Once it's going on.
Just as we did, I nudged Crazy and others did too. So may I offer a suggestion or Bradley, may I offer this to you? That there should be while the project is going on, having an information center that is there, let's say, from 9 to 5 or something, that people can go into and answer all their questions. It worked so well
Because
with
I
so
know, I know that they did that with Sam Schwartz,
Where would
right?
that be?
On Second
No,
Avenue.
well,
Yeah, I
There
think,
should be one in Brooklyn and one in
First
Manhattan.
Avenue
Maybe
is
one-
too far over.
Bradley
Okay,
has to open
okay,
an
no, well,
office.
I'm just saying that if
Right.
you wanna have one, if you wanna have only one, then that's as close as you can have both Manhattan and Brooklyn. It would be better if you had two, but I'm not being, I'm saying initially, having
that's what the
an
personnel
information center, it worked wonders as far as people stopped not complaining as much with the construction of the Second Avenue
That's an
subway.
interesting idea, I like that.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
follow
And
up.
let it be at accessible stations, please.
And it should be, ideally two.
Like-
Ideally, there should be one in Manhattan
Yeah.
and one in Brooklyn. But I'm saying if you can only have one,
It's
then
accessible to
First
everything
Avenue
except
would
to
be like the closest, in the middle between
Everything
Brooklyn
else
and
is accessible.
Manhattan. But,
It's not accessible.
but as I'm saying,
Even if they just-
it's showing, it's also showing the riding public that you really care and that you're there from them.
No,
We
we
got
got it.
so much fun.
Yeah.
So Bradley,
Yeah.
if you want to
I already think of
bring that
a
in.
perfect spot for, I was just talking to Edith at
Union
14th
Square.
Street Union
Right.
Square.
I was
By the
Behind-
florist.
What?
Yeah, but then you would have one,
I'm thinking
yeah,
behind
no,
the
I know
police
where you can
And then we
have,
also need
but
one
then
in-
you
Whatever.
can also, then you also
Okay,
need,
let's come back
no,
around
then
though.
you need
That's
one in
the-
Brooklyn
yeah.
also.
Yes, I'm
All
looking.
right, so that's,
We'll suggest
we'll
that.
suggest it.
We'll
Yeah.
suggest that.
So please send any thoughts, recommendations to Bradley and I, and we'll integrate them into the survey and into the work that we're doing.
Okay, we will let you know.
Just wanna point out,
Okay,
on the
last-
back of these books, there's a ton of information about how to make contact.
Yeah,
I
Right.
think about that.
Okay.
No, but that's, you would have these.
No, I'm not
you
tired.
need-
No,
no,
I'm
but-
tired.
We need to move
We
on,
need to move
folks.
on and finish, because
Let
we're
us go
already
to
over.
old business. Chris.
Lisa, guys, I'm still waiting for the update about the express bus update complaint. Because there's been a lot of more complaints about the express buses.
Have you provided those to our office?
Yes, I have,
Do you
and,
Yes, I
want to
have.
follow up with Deborah then?
yeah, and we're,
Other Deborah?
Well, mine is not just mine is the bus bypass
yeah, same
situation.
thing, same thing.
Right.
I haven't seen those, so I will follow up with Deborah.
But yes, I have given it to Deborah
I
and
know, in
the
fact, Lisa,
other
Debbie Morris has, and I have to use the last name because there's two Debbies.
The information about the black sign,
What I'm seeing,
clarify
what
that
I'm,
for me, and I
Okay.
what I'm seeing is, she does.
Hold on, wait, stop. Deborah, there are questions about the bus complaints that you've collected and forwarded. Have you heard anything back?
Some of them I have, and I've sent them to the members.
Okay.
Some of them,
Right.
I'm gonna, follow up.
But in general, the answers are totally worthless.
That's what I said, why I'm not.
I'm trying to be polite about it.
Bogus?
No, they are full of,
No more swearing.
I don't
No, I'm
remember
not
all
going
these
to say
complaints
I
from
don't
you
know.
guys recently, I don't even know
Okay,
what
we
you.
really
okay.
do need to move on.
Right,
We
we'll
don't
follow
have
up.
this room for much longer.
Yeah, my sense is,
I've sent,
as Lisa, I'm just getting this today, I will be phoning this again. Excuse, I just don't want to scream and interrupt again, but I am gonna forward this some more additional information because it's not just, because I'm on this Facebook page, I'm seeing a lot of more complaints now increasing with the express buses, and I'm seeing a lot of increasement more on everyone getting on the subway. So something's gotta be worked on with the express buses.
We got it.
Good.
We got it. Thank
Follow
you.
up on that.
Matt?
Last,
Oh,
no.
we'll go,
Hold
we'll
on.
just go down the line.
The OmniFace card, this morning when I was coming here, one of those turnstiles had like 6 hyphens by it. It didn't say OmniFace test coming soon, blah, blah, blah. It just had
What
6.
station are we talking about?
This was in Grand Central Station.
So I think there's a website that you can send that to. So we'll get you the website for what you say. There is, and I know that
Yeah,
to
they
follow
want
up
the
on
feedback
your-
from the field,
Yeah,
yes, that's what.
that's what they want, is to hear that.
Participating in the pilot.
So I know the question was that people had asked to be part of that test pilot, and we sent the names along, but right now it's still an internal agency
You
towns
sent names on?
to
Can you
win.
forward those to me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought,
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead.
That's all of us, right?
Anybody who asked specifically.
Yeah, well, I think,
Anyone who's not at the meeting, but following that.
oh, well, then, can I just ask now to be included in that, please?
Sure, the other, piece of that is that it should be going public in the next month, right, so.
Well,
that-
that's what it says on all the test things that are now
Yeah.
installed, but.
Okay,
But Lisa, you get those to me today.
Yeah.
I did not understand from what he spoke about, but I have a simple question here. Are the auto gates working with the pass system or not? With the pilot?
with the pilot from the Grand Central to
you know,
Atlantic
I
Park
will,
Place.
I'll take a look,
Okay,
don't know.
yeah, I mean,
That's a good question.
It is.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
We'll find out.
because when I was asking, I mean, you know, I felt I
Right.
wasn't getting substantial answer.
But when
He
our
said- he
Trey
said-
was here?
Yeah,
Yeah, and he said he was supposed to get back to us?
right.
So what, I mean,
Because
we
I'm looking
can
at the
go
video.
across the street.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that on the way, I'm gonna look. Go ahead, Jim.
So, last month I brought up the B train, service is still cut back. Last week, the Gothamist wrote a tribute to the R46 cars, which I love,
Me too.
but he mentioned he's riding them on the C line. So now I know where all my B trains have gone. So they're still running with 12 to 15-minute headway.
That's not where the B trains have gone. The Bs were using R68, are using R68s,
That's right, okay.
not 46s.
I accept the correction, but there is still a
So where are
cutback
they?
on the service on the B.
That there
So,
is.
if you could look up,
I would like to know what the work that is, I mean, fortunately, the B is one of only 2 trains in the system that have other trains paralleling them, you know. They're additional, but
The express service
they should
in
tell you what
Brooklyn
the work
really
is.
makes a difference.
They should, I know it does.
Yeah, it's blocked, every corner has a subway station.
The B and the C are the trains that superimpose that the other trains can, but you're right, we will find out what the B train work is. We have your email, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, we have it. Go ahead, Mr. X.
If your Whole Foods should meetings here in room 1608, someone needs to stand by those doors because they're both locked.
You mean that?
The doors by the elevators because
Sure.
I forgot
Right, if
which
people
door,
are
which
like-
side I should enter on. Like I said, they're locked. So if I don't see anyone,
We'll do
There's
that.
no
I
bell.
can't enter.
No, they're locked.
There's no bell. on
There's
any-
no bell.
On any of these
Right.
floors.
Yeah, we don't control the floors, I mean, but.
We've asked for hand
In fact, some of
sanitizer,
our
we've asked for
people,
auto.
their cards didn't even work on that
Yeah,
thing today, so.
there should be
it's
all
screwed
of
up.
Yep, no,
Well,
we
we
asked.
asked for that?
You wanna be some way that if they give you a temporary pass, at least snowboards the floor.
Or
Their paper, I don't
if
know.
I don't have my ID, I can use my Metro card to get into the building, but I can't get onto the floor.
Yeah, that's right. They don't-
But the point being made here is, how do you contact someone that you're on the floor?
Well, there's a phone.
But you have to have a
You gotta know who to
Right.
call.
You gotta know what the
You gotta know the
extensions are.
extension.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
picks it up.
Excuse me,
Oh,
can
you-
I make a suggestion? When we have meetings on the 20th floor, there is personnel
Of course.
sitting there. When we meet on this floor, would it be such an arduous task for them to assign a person to hang out there?
Well,
And
I
just
just-
say-
Short staff today.
Normally we have more staff.
Yeah.
As you notice, we're really short. Usually someone is sitting out there.
Okay.
So we will
We have
do that.
Okay,
we have a
I
few
I mean,
people
that's
missing.
should
I
be
mean,
on
whenever
us.
I'm late and I know that there's no one to let me in,
Yeah.
I just basically sit out by the elevator until someone,
Yeah.
you know, someone
the
else
same
is
thing.
coming in around. Yeah.
So we,
We don't
Because
when the
my
meetings are on this
car
floor,
died.
one of us will sit out there.
Basically, what I'm saying, and it needs to be balanced. Doesn't matter which floor you use, doesn't matter which room you use, okay?
Yep, we will do
You
that.
have to do better.
And we will.
We will.
We
Don't
understand.
disagree.
Can I bring up a new business?
Yep, yep.
Can I bring up a new business?
We're gonna go to new business because
New business.
old business is exhausted.
Good, so new business, and this may sound very trivial, but we were all so happy when we got Wi-Fi on the subways, and all you had to do is when you got down there, is just push the button and say, do you want it?
Oh,
Now,
that's
all of a
terrible.
sudden.
It's terrible
That's
now.
horrible.
The whole thing with the advertising.
And it says no internet,
So,
I mean, it's
do we
crazy.
desperately, does the MTA I don't know how much they're being paid for the
Yes, I
advertising.
imagine that they
But
do.
not only that, so you say, okay, I'll watch the advertising, and then it's saying, this doesn't work, you gotta go back to start again.
Yeah, it's no good.
And by that time, you've reached your destination, you've lost
Yeah.
whatever emails.
We're gonna
Can
contact
I may formally.
Transit Wireless. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Some
We
of them
will
are
do
better
that.
now, they just put the ad on and they can connect right
No,
away
but you
with
can't,
no ads.
this morning,
Mine says
this
no internet,
happened,
but I
it
can
says,
connect to
it
Wi-Fi.
will not connect, it puts on the ad, so then you say, okay, I'll watch the ad. You push that button and it says,
No
you can't
internet.
connect, it doesn't work,
Yeah.
you don't get
Okay,
started all
okay.
over.
Worthless. Edith.
Okay.
Yes,
I'm getting that the only.
interestingly enough, this morning, I was on a one train with a woman who was totally hysterical,
Laughing or crying?
crying, inconsolable. It was part of why I'm late. I tried to take it to the other side. She was coming from the Bronx, trying to get to 168th Street. Nothing in any of the material about the one train outage in effect at 168th Street addresses coming south. Everything says go to 157th and get the number 5 bus. Nothing tells you what to do if you started at 242nd, 131st,
231st.
231st, yes, you're right. And you have nothing addresses any of that. And I mean, this has been one of my complaints.
That's true. Even the announcements on the
The announcements on the train, exactly.
say, you know, no, one service, you know, take the A
And
train,
so, you know, so
168
she's
or,
trying to get
yeah.
to the hospital, and
Did she tell you what her origin station was?
yes, it was 242nd. So she had climbed up the steps at 242nd on her cane, an older woman, and we came into 96th Street, and she's saying, I'm just going home. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. So I went up.
She went all the way to 96th Street?
Well, she realized this at about 110th. So now 96 is the next elevator.
Right.
So I'm not going to make her go up, over, and around. I'm going to take her to 96th Street and take her up and over and put her on a one train
To go home?
to go home.
Yeah.
Or 168.
I mean, from her origin, you know, there's a bus to 207, and then you could have gone to 168 on the A, but.
That's what I said to her, and she was just totally confused.
Yeah, they need announcements from the north, not just from
Right.
the south.
So I gave her this.
Excellent,
You know, I always carry with them.
excellent.
But, you know, they really need to, and, you know, this is the first step. Remember, we're going to have 5 stations doing this.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Now, it's great that they're fixing this elevator finally, but you gotta give people the right
We'll
information.
share that. I think
well,
they're
no, you
writing
gotta
it
make
down,
those
too.
elevators be accessible first.
Absolutely, thank you.
20 elevators at 5 stations that are not going to the platform. Do the feds know?
They do. Believe me, they do. Kevin,
Yes. So when the V terminates at Bedford Park Boulevard during rush hour, but why not extend to Bedford during middays and evenings?
What
But
train
it's
we
still
talking
currently.
because the Ds are running local, then you don't need the B, that's why they do that.
Right.
And
They extend the B when the Ds are express and don't make those local stops.
And Andrew, you left one piece out there, some V's do run at night when the Yankee game is on.
So
Right.
I know, but
so
that's-
these are bus redesign flyers, but there's more updated ones that are right by Deborah.
Do we know
And that she's, you know.
the schedule
Queens,
of when
what about-
Manhattan's going to be?
No.
Probably
I
last.
think Brooklyn is next.
Yeah, no, Manhattan
Yeah, I
would be
think
last.
I thought
Brooklyn is
Brooklyn got it done
No.
already.
No,
Yeah,
Stanley was the
Manhattan will be
Bronx.
last.
Staten Island.
Manhattan will probably be last.
I would
Manhattan
think
Manhattan will be last,
Nothing's
just to
been
show that
officially
there's
said.
no favoritism.
Folks,
No, because congestion
we got a
pricing is
couple
gonna
more.
affect Manhattan.
Right, we got a couple more,
And then I-
Mr. X and then Matt, and then I think we're done.
And I have one point to make before we
Okay,
adjourn.
and then Lisa.
Okay, double A, double A battery.
Double A local, double A local.
Okay,
Yeah.
you mentioned new business, well, now that we have new board members, we have new volunteers actually. I sincerely hope from this point on, we'll take volunteers, attend public hearings regularly, because that's not what I saw over the years. I'm hoping now that Patrick Florence and C.D. Barney Hickam as MTA Executive Director, hopefully he'll listen to us.
He's chairman and CEO.
Well, if I'm concerned, he succeeded her as secretary and Joe Lawler as the chair.
Okay. I
Okay,
guess that's one
said
way.
he has a whole two public hearings simultaneously, which what certain individuals did. I just hope he doesn't start before 6 p.m., which certain individuals did. I just hope he advertises in a timely manner, which certain individuals did do. Okay? They need to be held in buildings that have auditorium ramps, not stairs, ramps. Which at Host College, the main facilities don't have, they have stairs, no ramps.
But there's special, there are ramps that take us to it.
Hostos had ramps, I remember
Hostos has a ramped auditorium. There are some steps, but the staff was very solicitous about heading off people with obvious disabilities and took us around to the side so we didn't have to go down that ramp, which was a little steep. That's typical. Auditorium ramps are typically steep. But they were responsive.
That's what I expect from this point on, because.
Yeah, I can't control that, but I'll pass it along.
Yes, you could pass along.
Absolutely.
We actually
must do a better job than his predecessors.
Okay, Andrew, we did discuss this after the last set of hearings, that they really need to start moving hearings around.
Yeah.
I mean, Hostos is a pain in the ass for many of us to go to. This is not so great for people who have to schlep down.
149th Grand Concourse is an accessible station.
No, it's not.
It's going to be.
Yes, but it's
Well,
not
it
accessible.
doesn't mean it is right now.
No, it isn't right now, but it's definitely on the list, I know that, yeah.
Yeah, but she's talking
But
about.
so
Yes.
now.
So,
Yep.
think about this though, the next of those hearings are 2 years away, we hope.
Yeah, but Andrew.
The bus forum.
But Andrew, all due respect, if you're gonna do a public hearing in the Bronx, move up a little more uptown.
Yeah.
Because it's more accessibility,
851 Grand Concourse.
because if you do have other colleges and high schools that are accessible.
And use the old Vic
They've been using the same locations for the last several hearings,
Every-
exactly time, yep. All right,
We just had a
go
deal.
ahead, Matt.
I was gonna say 3 things, one of which is that there are still delays on buses. I was at.
No,
You've got to be
There are
kidding.
significant delays on the buses, and that's where these mitigation plans are coming, but that's because of the delays on the buses. Nothing's been put in place yet.
So in other words, if I was standing on a M15 platform waiting for a bus for
Well, I think you're waiting.
Join
the
the
other day
rest
for
of us.
like
I don't think there's an M15 platform, Matt.
10 minutes and a 15 bus stop.
Whatever he needs,
You know, that's
bus
not
stop.
bad. 15 minutes, I'll take it.
And other thing is that I live sometimes in Westport. At the Westport train station, the billboards on the inside of the station house are wrong. They say something like ETA 5